All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to start off kind of working on the notes from my seminar. Um,
Right.
Kind of changes on technique a little bit from what we have been doing. So one of the big things is in Taekwondo, right? When we come forward, we do our inner blocks and then we do the back fist. I taught you guys to start from the armpit and come this way, right? They recommend now coming from the belt level up, up the arm, up the shoulder, and then out. Okay, and what this does is it creates a larger volume of movement. Okay, so the way we were doing it, we were coming from the armpit and coming forward in this way, kind of shorter version, right? So they want to start lower and come up and two. Similar to your knife hand movement and your forearm block movement where we come up the side of your body and around, right? This motion here, right? We want to do the same thing with that back fist movement, okay? Now keep in mind, there is no not wrist rotation on the back fist. You don't do any type of a twist on that wrist, okay? All right, it's just gonna come straight up and then down to the nose level. You wanna make sure, bring it up, straight up, and then out. Okay. Everything that we've done and the way I've taught it is pretty much the same. The only thing that we're really working on is making the movements bigger. As we make movements bigger, right, the students have to do the blocks quicker, right? Because we're adding movement, we're adding distance. When they land, the intention is when they land, this still has to occur at the same time, right? The ending movement has to occur as they land into the stance, right? So we want to make sure that you're moving the technique quicker, because if you don't do that, then it's not going to come up properly, right? Your timing's going to be off. You see timing off a lot of time, mostly on little kids, which I don't care, right? We just want them to do the movements correctly, all right? Once again, this is different levels that you're going to be teaching this. All right. So, for a little kid, we just want to make sure that their hand is in the right position. Right. If we can get them to do this whole movement, great. Right. But we want to just make sure that they're at least targeting the right spot. All right. Because a lot of times when they do this, they always, they're always, just here doing the motion. So remember the 3 phases of learning, right? Learn the movements first. So let them do it in the manner, right, that's going to help them remember. And then once they're confident where they're not going, thinking about what the next movement is, then we start working more of that detail. Okay. Obviously for the kids that are on like Pumse team and competitive kids, right, we're going to be much quicker. We're going to be working on that on a much more advanced level. So we're going to encourage them to work. And the process is, once again, you're going to work the back fist movement first, right? And then the opposite hand movement, right? The retraction hand movement. Okay. So when you do that back fist, the opposite hand's going to be high. All right. One. Just like knife hand block, right? The eye of your fist, right? The thumb and index finger, the eye, all right, up by your shoulder. Okay. Did I miss anything, Natalie?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so that was Ojang. When we do Yukjang, right, that circular knife hand block, all right, circular knife hand block is going to be high, correct, Natalie? It's not normal, right? It's up.
I remember he said like the palm of the hand needs to be like somewhat at shoulder level. I feel like
Yeah, I
like
think in all honesty, I think it's supposed to be wrist at shoulder level, which makes the palm at about neck level, so it's a little bit higher than normal.
yeah,
Because
it's
normally,
like,
right, when we do the knife hand block, we want the palm to be at about shoulder, right?
he said
Or you said
knife,
fingertip.
yeah, fingertips at shoulder.
Fingertips at shoulder level. Sorry. Yeah. So, sorry. Fingertips at shoulder level for a regular knife hand block. Okay. So normally I had you guys up here. It's down a little bit is what they want here. Okay. In this particular instance, I want it up to where it's normally what we've done normally. All right. So kind of I would use your wrist line as a good gauge. Wrist and shoulder should be level for this one here. All right. And then make sure that that middle finger is in line with your head, the lifeline, your nose. Does that make sense? So when you're looking at your target and you're doing this movement here, we want that knife hand, the middle finger in line with your nose. We don't want it past. We want it this way. Correct, Natalie?
Yes, that sounds all right.
Yeah, right. So it's gonna be here as you're looking. Knife hand's here, not out here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then same thing. The shoulder needs to be turned a little bit forward.
Yeah, shoulders turn. So shoulders here, this way. And the reason for the shoulder turn is to help load the roundhouse kick. Okay. If you're flat like this, just doing a regular front stance, right? Right, you can kick, right? It's easy. But what we're trying to do here is to try to get that tendency for that back heel to want to come up. It's like a spring, right? Just kind of getting ready, and then basically once we lift, you release the spring and then the kick comes out. So that's what we want. So we want a slight shoulder turn, right? So we want if you're doing the left hand, left shoulder should be in front of the right shoulder. If you're doing the right hand, vice versa, right shoulder should be in front of the left shoulder. We don't want them to ever be parallel. Or actually, I should not say that. We don't want them ever to, in this particular movement, we don't want it to be balanced this way, where, it's normal. Where you're following your hip line based on your stance. We don't want the hand to just stop here. Okay? We're gonna lean and try to get that right shoulder slightly in front of that left shoulder, or the left shoulder slightly in front of the right shoulder. All right. So if I'm looking at it from a side view, if you're looking at it from a side view, right, you're gonna notice here. Oh, let me do it this way. Right. When you do it here, right, we don't want this. Okay. We don't want this, definitely, because this is the natural position of what we want our shoulders to be when we're doing a block, right, or a punch, right? We want it to be here, lined with our hips and our stance. Okay. We don't want it here. This is more squared off. Okay. We actually want here, so that my shoulder is just a little bit. And what that does, once again, it gives me that urge, that tendency for that back heel to want to come up a little bit. All right. We're not bringing it up. Right? We're not trying to compromise the stance at all, but we just want it here. That way we can release. Okay. Was there anything else in Keumgang, Natalie, that you could remember? I think that was it, right? That was the only thing that was different.
I'm sure everyone knows this, but like when you do a lot of students say sometimes when they do roundhouse kick, they kick like straight forward where it's at the lifeline.
Oh, the kick needs to be just past your body. So like if you look at your face and you do your nose here, right? You need to be kicking to the ear. Kick to the ear. Right? You need to be kicking past the target line, not right at the target line. Okay? Does that make sense? Because a lot of times, if you gauge your kick by your big toe, right, then you're never going to hit the target where you're supposed to. It needs to be to the ear side. So if whichever direction you're faced, right, your kick should come to the ear of the opposite side. So if my left leg is kicking, it needs to come to the side of my right ear. So a little bit, basically a little bit past center. Okay. When you do that roundhouse kick, a good Y shape is good. A pivot, right? Most people, right? You should encourage students to pivot at least 150 degrees. Okay, not 90. Okay, past. Right, past 90, about 150 to 180 degrees. 180 is ideal. Okay. So if we can mimic the roundhouse kick foot position like a side kick, that would be ideal. All right. Which is hard because why? We're so used to kicking at 90 degrees. We're always used to kicking this way, right? Because we like to lean forward and kind of stick our hips out. So we want to make sure that when we do this, right, we're pulled back a little bit, right? Trying to keep that straight line. Okay. Oh, the double down block movement as well. All right. So what happens is you're going to be left leg in front here, right? You just did your kick 'em, your punch. When you bring your left foot in, left foot's got to come into your close stance, your moa sogi. Okay? So you come into your moa sogi. 1. Feet come together. Okay? Because the left leg is moving, the left hand needs to be on the outside or the furthest away from your chest. Okay? If you can, you want to try to imagine trying to get both pinkies up by the shoulder to start. Okay? Now from here, we don't move our elbows. Okay? We don't move our elbows to do this movement here. We rotate our wrists. So elbows, all they're going to do is just straighten out from here. They go straight. As we go straight, our wrists start to turn. Right? Until we get to this X here in front, and then we pull them across, and then we bring them around to the side. And we want to make sure that when we finish, we want to finish right directly in line with our hip bone. Okay? So from the hip bone, if you open up your hand, right? Basically, it's the equivalent to 2 fists. 2 fists stacked on each other from the hip here, right? That's where our down block should end up. Otherwise known as a handspan. Put your thumb in your hip joint, pinky out, right? That's where the down block should stop. So this is too close, this is too far. Okay? And it should be balanced, right? If you're looking at it in a mirror or something, right? We want to make sure. You'll be surprised at how often people are off, right? They think that it's straight and it looks like this, where one hand's higher than the other, all right? This is also too, this happens a lot too, where one hand's out in front maybe, and the other hand's right exactly correct. Okay. So as black belts, we need to pay attention to those things for ourselves first, and then to be able to help others, we should be able to see that and help correct that. Okay. All right. So let's see. So that was Yukjang. Chirchang. What was the change? Yes. This is from a competition standpoint. And it's just to bring, like I said, volume of movement. Volume of movement creates more power. All right. Oh, going back to Keumgang real quick, right? There was the issue of looping. You guys know what looping is, right? So you kick and you come back here, bang, right? Here, you come here, one, okay? You need to come straight and back. That's loop. You need to come straight back and then boom, okay? A lot of people, they kind of swing the leg around. See, looping. Come straight back. Yep, that's what you want. Okay? Yeah, you don't want to come around this way. That's a loop. All right. Once again, this is going to be at more the advanced levels. So your teenagers, adults, this is what we want to get them to do. All right? You're not going to necessarily do this with a 5-year-old that's doing Keumgang or a 6-year-old. All right? So if we can encourage them to fix it, if it's obvious, if it's really bad, you know, some of the kids, you know, they're really bad. They make it big. So. All right, take a Chirchang. Tiger stance. Tiger stance. Think of tiger stance as you're in attention, right? You're in chariot position, close stance, right? Now, all you're going to do is open up your back foot 30 degrees to the direction you're facing. You open up 30 degrees and you move your other foot forward from that same position, from the attention position. You move it forward, basically 1 foot length. So what we want is the back big toe and the front heel to be on the same, to be lined up. Okay. I think in the past I had you guys kind of think of, you guys are in your chumbi position, right? You pivot in the, or you open up the 30 degrees and then you bring that other foot forward so that there was space in between the heels, about a fist. That is incorrect now. So feet together like in attention, your close stance, right? And then you open up. So basically the heels are on adjacent lines, kind of like your back stance. Okay. The back foot, that 30-degree opening is the same for walking stance, front stance, tiger stance. That 30-degree opening. Okay. So it's straight and open 30 degrees. That's the opening. Okay. So whichever way I'm looking, I'm going to open 30 degrees. Okay. So that's on front stance, walking stance, tiger stance. Pomsogi. Pomsogi is tiger stance. Apgubi is front stance. Apsogi is walking stance. I'm going to start using more of the Korean terminology for my own benefit, but also to educate. So, right, moasogi, close stance. So yeah, that tiger stance. So once we get the footing down, right, the spacing of the feet, okay, the next thing is to sit, right? Both knees bend. All right. Yeah. This is your Michael Jackson impression. All right. Okay. You're sitting. So basically what happens is your back leg, right? The one that's open, hip and heel should be in the same line. Okay. This is incorrect. All right. This is incorrect. This is incorrect for tiger stance. All right. We want the hip and the heel to be in a straight line here. The back knee is bent forward, straight ahead. All right. So the knee bend, front knee bend and back knee bend are the exact same direction. Okay. And the reason why you need to bend that back knee is it's a defense mechanism. Okay. It prevents a front kick coming up into the groin region. All right. That's why the knee is in tight to protect. All right. If it's straight and you just kind of lift up your heel like this, you're exposed. This, right? They'll catch the knee before they catch the groin. Okay. That's why the stance is designed that way. Now, when you pick up the front heel, it's not like wearing high heels. So, you know, we don't want the kids to pull way high like they're doing a front kick or, you know, or high tippy toes or practicing ballet or anything, right? All it is a lift, right? Just a lift. That's it. Just a comfortable, natural lift, not a forced lift. Okay? Just a lift. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't need to be like you're wearing really, really high heels. Okay. Okay. Did they say anything about spread block, Nelly? I'm trying to remember.
I think he just said just make sure they're not out wide where it's outside of the shoulders.
Yeah,
Just make
wider
sure.
than the shoulder, right? So
What?
you need to make sure. Okay, so this is what I see a lot of with your inner block, right? Anmaki, pakar anmaki, right? Your outside in block. What I see a lot of is this. The elbow, yeah, they're leading with the elbow because they're trying to make it straight. They're trying to make this straight up and down. Okay? So what we want to try to think about is here. When I put my thumb, my fist together and I just let my shoulders hang, you see there's a space in between, right? There's a space in between my elbows, right? This is forcing, okay? Just naturally hang. So that's where our block should be. That's what the block should be. That's what the block should look like. So there's going to be an angle to this. So it's not this. It's not this, okay? We want it to be natural. So just think here, if I'm holding onto my shirt or whatever, right? Whatever natural hanging position that is, that's what I want my outside in block, right, to be. Okay? But we don't want it too wide, right? We don't want it like way up here. All right, that's the thing, right? This is forced because we're lifting, right? This is forced because we're closing, right? Just naturally hang, right? Just have the pinkies gently touching, right, in fisted position, and this is where we want to be. That's where we want our blocks. Okay. Same thing with your spread block, right? You cross your arms, boom. It's the same thing, right? A lot of people they go like this and they try to make this straight up and down, right? One. Okay. I want to see where the elbow is out a little bit, like this. So the fists should not go further wider than your shoulders. The fists. We don't want the fist past the shoulder. Fists as wide as your shoulder. Elbows will be out a little bit because we're not trying to cram them in. Okay.
Do the notes say anything about downward double knife hand?
No, it can be a word. It can be right there. That's fine. What was that?
Did the notes say anything about double downward knife hand squat?
Yeah. Not that I see. Oh, you said downward knife hand between thigh and knee, 2 fists away from the leg.
I feel like he said something about the chamber, but I'm not quite sure.
Your chamber is going to be the same, right? It's going to be this and this, right? This one's a linear chamber. Your low double knife hand is straight. Boom.
Oh, I remember. He said just make sure that when you're so it's like oh wait. So he said just to make sure for this part, like this hand isn't like above, like doesn't go above the head.
We don't want to
like,
be here like this, right? It's going to be here, right? It's the same thing as if we were doing double knife hand, right? It's the same position, right? So it's not going to be here, but people do that because why? They're going, oh, I got to go down. 1, 2. That's what they do. Okay, they need to be from here. 1, 1, 2. This position is the exact same as if we were doing double knife hand. Okay, that position is going to remain the same. It's just right now these are both straight. The low one is straight versus coming up regular. We have to go circle and straight. Yeah. Okay. But you want to make sure, right? The other thing too is, right? Make sure that arm is completely straight. No bend in the wrist at all. Okay. And it should be from your thigh, right? If you put your hand 2 fists above the thigh, boom. The other way to think about it is this angle, arm angle, should look like 2 parallel lines. Does that make sense? So if you're looking at it from a side view in a mirror or something, you want to make sure this line and this line are parallel. Okay? And you see your wrists or your fingers come up a little bit. Yeah, so you want this completely flat. Okay? Yeah. So this angle and this angle should be the same. Yeah. So, yeah, so if you were to put your pinky, right, to thumb, right, where the thumb ends, that's where your knife hand's going to be. All right. So the equivalent, whenever sometimes you'll hear like 2 fists above the thigh, or a hand span above the thigh. Okay.
He said something after spread block. He just said just go straight forward,
Straight
like
up.
yeah, just
Here,
go straight
natural
forward.
position, right?
Yeah, he said don't go up, like just go straight forward. Yeah.
You're going to go up a little bit just because when you straighten out your elbows, right, it's going to raise because of the angle that you're at here. Okay. But it's not this.
Yeah.
This. And it's not this. All right. It's not this. Now we do this in one step. Right? I teach this in one step because you're grabbing the side of you're grabbing the ears, side of the head, and you're going to pull down that way for one step. Okay. But from our purposes, from Pumse purposes, it's here, grabbing the shoulder. That's what you're doing. You're grabbing the shoulder, and then it's a knee strike into the chest because you're pulling them straight down, right? And if they don't go down, then it's a knee strike into the chin of the face. So 1, straight, pull straight down, right? It's like if you're snapping out a blanket or a big towel. It's that motion. Okay. Questions? No. One. You just got to make sure, right? The down block hand comes from the inside of the inside out block hand. Kawimaki. This is called kawimaki. All right. So yeah, you notice basically one hand comes in and then the other hand comes in. You're rotating the movement. You'll see a lot of people just do the same way. They'll go 1, 2. All right, and then they 1, 2. They keep it the exact same. Once again, we're trying to create balance, right? Do a little one way and then the other way. So you're alternating. Oh, Chirchang on the backside when you do your back fist strike. Okay, this is a side back fist, right? So the side back fist starts from the shoulder and comes out. Okay, if you can, right, it would be good for you guys to rotate here. So start with the eye and then come across. 2. Start with the eye and then come across. Cheek level on this. Then when you do your crescent kick movement, right, it comes up like an axe kick. Axe kick, and then the arch of your foot hits into your palm. Arch of your foot.
You said the side of the foot.
Huh?
You said the side.
The arch.
The arch. Yeah, that is the side. Okay, sorry. Okay.
All right. How many stripes do you have on your belt? Yeah, exactly.
I forgot the arch was a side. Sorry.
Arch. Boom. Okay. So the arch hits, boom, and then you land into your horse riding stance. So you kick the hand and then you hit the hand with the elbow. Yeah. So you have to, so when you're positioned, when you get ready, after you get your X block here, and when you turn to the front, you have to switch your hands. Okay. So that's the thing. When you're here, you have to switch and boom. You have to move that hand so that you get in the right position for the chamber. And then you do that. And then same thing. 1, right? 1, 2. When you can't reach your foot? You're going to bend a tiny bit. Yeah. You can bend a little bit. But the thing is, you don't want to make it a crescent kick like big, right? We teach crescent kick to be really big, right? This one here, you're bringing it up like an axe kick, straight up. 1, straight, and then hit, and then 2. Yeah, so it's quick, right? And then you hear that sound. That's a good pop. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear slap this, and then right into that. Those that are really good, they can do quick. You hear really quick and they land in a good stance. Okay. All right. Those that try to be good, they get this good and then their stance looks bad. They don't land in the correct stance or their stance is off. They over rotate. So this movement, by coming straight up and hit, helps to get this when you land in your horse riding stance a little bit better. Okay. Now, don't stomp. Don't stomp. Don't stomp for the elbow. Okay. So a stomp is literally a sound. Okay. Right? Taeguk Ojang, you have a stomp at the very end. Right? With the back cross stance. All right? The koasogi, right? Right? That's a stomp. Okay, Keumgang. Keumgang. There's a stomp. Okay. Everything else is a place. So when you hit, and you do that, that's considered a stomp. That's wrong. Okay. All right. Take a chirchang, or excuse me, take a parchang. Take a 8. All right.
In Chirchong, they know about the X block, right?
No.
bringing it
Left
up
leg
and
out
then
in
down.
front, left hand on the bottom.
No, like bringing it up and then down. Like 1, 2.
Huh?
Like when they do it, it's like 1, 2. Like bring it instead of just
Yeah.
downing.
Yeah.
They
From a
know.
seated position, you're talking about from doing pumse sitting on the couch?
No, I can't
Yeah.
move. Okay, it's like bring it up and
1,
then
2.
down. Yeah.
Lift and you come down. All right. So once you come back, when you move back, lift and come down. All right. When you step back, lift up to the shoulder, right? Fist come to the shoulder or the armpit, and then down. Okay. Not way up here, not above your shoulder. Okay. Keep the elbows kind of tucked in and then down. Lift and then down. Okay. Lift up to the armpit level and then down. Okay. All right. Take a paichang. So, first movement when we do the double front kick, moving forward. All right. It's important to make sure that they're going straight down the line. All right. We don't want this where you're falling off of the line. It should be okay. Straight down the line. 1, 2. Boom. No. All right. Because this is a quick movement here, right? Ideal position would be belly or belt level to face level. That would be ideal. Because it's quick. Okay, but this is what happens. Majority of the people, right? It's hard for them to do that, so they don't kick. They don't kick. They don't extend the kick out. 1, 2. Okay. All right. Jason doesn't like to extend his kick out, so he would prefer to just hop. So you have to be able to. So both kicks. 1, 2. Yep. That's the motion. 1, 2. And you need to land basically. When you do this, you should be landing about a front stance forward. Okay. Now, this is different than the one in the back. The one in the back, you're in the low double forearm. Okay. This is where you kick and you stay in place and then you jump. Same thing here. A lot of people here, they kick and then when they jump, boom, they land over to the side. If you have a student that does that, they're going to have a hard time getting back to where they started. That's why you need to move in a straight line with these kicks, these front kicks, right? You want to stay in place, boom, and then place down. So on the back one, it's 2 high kicks, 2 face level kicks. So kick, pause, and then jump kick, right? That one's a little bit easier, right? Because you're pausing, all right? First one's a little bit harder because you're moving forward and you're kicking in the air. Okay? No. All right, so double knife hand guarding block. When we get into the tiger stance position, right? So after you kick, walking, and then into tiger, go into the side, the double knife hand guarding block. So this is where we do appai, right? Front kick, front leg, front kick. Appai, apchagi. All right. What we'll see a lot of times is the foot will go down. So the heel will touch the ground, right? The heel will touch and then the kick will come up. And what this is to help you kick higher. A lot of people have a hard time just lifting and kicking from here. So what they'll do is they'll cheat. They'll push off the ground. So they'll drop the front heel and then push. It's just like, it's like when you do a step kick. Right? They step with the front foot first. They go here and then they kick to create momentum. Okay? So this is what we don't want. Right? We want the kids to do this or move, right? Or move the foot, right? Okay? So you want to be here. Once they're sitting here, it's just a straight lift from there. I see you did it too. You kind of pushed down like a little bit. You didn't touch, but you pushed down. And you did it again. Well, one, your tiger stance isn't very good either. All right. Quit messing with my door, Jason. It's hot. No. Remember, tiger stance, 30-degree opening, right? And then when you kick, you go to a 90-degree opening. All right? Boom. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you forget what I just told you about tiger stance? It's a little bit better. Uh-huh. See, you had to think about it, right? No, you got to punch, right? Kick, punch, and then back in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I know, right? Yeah, you're on the couch. Don't laugh at them.
Hey.
Oh, she's just showing off the dogs.
I'm
I'm sorry, the rats. The 2 rats that we have.
I think it's really tired.
Okay. Yeah, so and then when you do the elbow at the end, the elbow back fist punch movement, you need to make sure that the point of the elbow is facing the direction that you're turning to. So it's almost like you're trying to punch your shoulder. Okay. All right. So boom. All right. Bring it around quick. 1, and then flip it to the back fist and then to the punch. Yeah. Okay. So it's elbow is chin, nose, chest at the end.
There's also the crossover part.
No, so when you do this, the cross, boom. Front cross step, right? Up kosogi.
Yep.
All right. Cross, 2. It's not a step. So when you're here, right? When you cross, and then step. You need to step directly across too. Don't step in front like this here. So I'm on the line here, or here. When I cross, boom, I'm gonna stay on that line. It's a front cross step, all right? Up kosogi. So in ojang, when you stomp and you do your back fist, that's a back cross stance. T kosogi. Right? Meaning the back foot comes up. Okay? In this instance here, right, you get this in Parchang and Koryo. Up kosogi. And then out. So you're crossing in front, and then you're picking up the back heel to make the cross, and then out.
And then you keep the foot at an angle.
Yep, you keep it at an angle. Both feet, right? This is that diamond stance, right? So it's that diamond stance when you're in the inside out block, down block movement. It's the John Travolta Saturday Night Fever stance. Staying alive.
Yeah, I tend to turn and then bring it out.
So, okay. Yeah, that front cross stance. So in Koryo, right, when you do the punch, same thing. Front cross stance, and then you kick. See, people treat it as, oh, it's just a step-up kick. Incorrect. You have to go into the stance. It's a stance. Just like in cheer or parchang, front kick, you step back. Walking stance, tiger stance. It's not kick, step into sit down. All right? So from here, I kick, I go walking stance, into tiger stance. All right. There was nothing in Koryo that we're doing differently than what he said, I don't think. Right, Natalie?
Let me think. The double knife hand still the same. Knife hand strike still the same time. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. The biggest thing is make sure rotation. So like when you do on the backside, when you do your knife hand strike, knife hand block, rotate that wrist, right? 1, 2. Right? A lot of times it's just people just keep the wrist straight. 1, 2. Right? 1, 2. And so this is the same thing. To create power, to generate power, if you wait to snap your wrist to the point where at the very end, the technique is a lot stronger. Okay? So when you come up here, if you turn early, all you're doing is just straightening out the elbow. It's the same as just going like this. If you wait to snap out or rotate your wrist till the end, that adds a little bit of more power into the technique because it increases the speed of your technique. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then Keumgang, all right? We're almost done with time. So Keumgang. When you go into your one-legged stance, your hakdari sogi, right? Your hakdari sogi, all right? Here. You want to make sure the leg that you're standing on is the toes are pointed straight, okay? The lifted leg. We want the arch of that foot to kind of mimic the side of your knee, kind of right up next to that knee, okay? You also need to make sure that the leg that you're standing on is bent. So imagine yourself in a horse riding stance, okay? That's the same bend here, okay? So when you step out and you drop into this, there should not be a where your head adjusts. It goes up and down. You're bent, boom. Right? It should, all your head should do is just shift sideways. It shouldn't move up and down. It shouldn't bob. Okay? So you have to be flexed pretty good here. You have to be flexed pretty good, and then you drop. We just want the head to go sideways, not up and down.
And then with the knife hand going back, the middle finger should be aligned with the lifeline.
Yeah.
Too.
Knife hand block. So your middle finger should be in line with your nose. That line with your nose, yep. Coming back, yep. You got to bend. This is a block, so you got to bend the elbow. Okay? So yeah, so fingertips, you want the fingertips right at about shoulder height here for the block, because this is the middle block. Boom, middle knife hand block. Momtom sonomaki, middle knife hand block. Okay? So we need to make sure that the elbow's bent angle. And then when you go into your mountain block, your santomaki. So I had you guys do armpit and up when we did the inside out block movement. And then this one here, right? Your outside in block movement, that doesn't change. But the inside out block for volume purposes is going to start lower now. So start at the belt and come straight across your body. So you got to make sure the eye of your hand, right? Eye of the fist should be at the belt level, and then you pop it up. All right. So as you step 1, 2, and this is where you stomp, right? You also need to make sure that you're looking. You're gonna be looking to the leg that's stomping. So if you're doing right leg, then you're looking that way. When you turn, you look straight ahead. When you stomp again, boom, you could look to the side that you stomp to. A lot of people like to look straight ahead. So they go here when they do their Santomaki, the mountain block, they look straight ahead. Incorrect. Should be looking to the whichever leg you're stomping with. Okay. Anything else you remember, Natalie, for Keumgang? That was it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. Any questions, Mr. Jason? All right. You are free to go, sir. Have a good night or good afternoon. Great weekend. All right. Do some work around the house. Help dad out. Manual labor. Get him lifting. Just make him stronger. All right. So that's it, Natalie.
All right. I'll see you later then.
All right. All right. Miss Olivia says bye.
All right. Bye.